Hey, this is Yusuf. This is in response to the video where it shows Bart Ehrman. It has the video recording of Bart Ehrman talking to an atheist talk show host. And the atheist talk show host keeps trying to say how Jesus didn't exist, and Bart Ehrman says there's no serious history scholar that would say Jesus did not exist. And the atheist keeps trying to say, but we don't know, but we don't, this shows the just ignorance, arrogance, and well, it shouldn't really say ignorance, but stupidity of people. Now, whether Jesus walked on water, whether he was the Son of God, whether he was God incarnate, okay, those you can argue. But did he exist? Yes. Uh, we have more historical evidence for Jesus than we do for anybody of that time period. We even the manuscript evidence of the early preservation of these works. We don't have that for anybody. I mean, the earliest the earliest manuscript evidence of Julius Caesar's commentaries comes from the 15th century A.D. It's not that long ago. For the Gospels, we have not only up to complete works that are up to the 3rd century. Now, this is before Christianity had become legal under the Roman Empire. But we have fragments of these Gospels where we know, okay, this is 4 sentences from John's Gospels, or this or that of Mark from the early 2nd century. I mean, that's incredibly early. That's less than 100 years after Jesus' death. Uh, it's amazing that people want to go to such a extent. Now, I applaud people questioning things about history. I absolutely do. But when you go to the extent to say Jesus did never existed, Muhammad never existed, Julius Caesar never existed, Richard III never existed. But how do we know? See, we can't. Well, what's the archaeological evidence? Most things aren't in the archaeological record. Surprisingly, we do find a hell of a lot of archaeology in Israel. It's to the point where you can crack open a Bible and go to where a place says a city is, and it was during this time period. Dig down, you find that. Now, again, that doesn't prove God, but it proves a pretty accurate record for what we find. And like any historical document written in its time, sure, there are miracles attributed. There are all these different things that we would look at and say, wait, that doesn't, you know. But would you expect to find something written like a 20th century document or a 21st century document in that time period? No. Uh, it's amazing how bad people's view of history is, how misunderstood history actually is. Now, history is very near and dear to me, so it really angers me when people do this. This is making a case against the atheists when they say things like Jesus didn't exist. Uh, where is one serious scholar that questions the existence of Jesus? They're not there. Um, it's just like when the atheists come on and say, name one scientist that is a Christian, and you rattle off 50 of them, including Francis Collins and people like that, and then they come back and say, no, they're not, or they don't believe in genetics or this. Well, Francis, he mapped the human genome. Well, then he's not a Christian. He doesn't believe in creationism. They always have to set these strange things up, uh, which again, it's just silly. Now, again, this is not against atheism. This is against people who will go against accepted knowledge, will go against the scholars, will go against all evidence to try to say, well, to fit their worldview. isn't that the exact same thing the creationists do?